Happy Sunday. Okay, that was like a blitz fast run through of a lot of your afternoon requests because I normally hit about 4 or 5 of those from the afternoon list before I start taking requests from tonight's list, or I play the requests. Josh is actually behind the camera managing the requests. But I wrote down 10, and then I ended up adding an 11th one, Neath the Old Olive Tree, which is a new one for me, but it's from the Broadman hymnal. So somebody told me which hymnal it was in, so I didn't have to go searching for it. So I just went quickly to the page and thought I'd throw that one into the opening medley. So I only did one verse of each of those 11, and normally I like to take a little bit more time and develop an arrangement because it usually comes to me a little bit more during the first verse what I'm going to do for the following verses. But I was trying to cram in as many as possible from you guys, so now I will start taking requests from what you've said during all of those songs. So I'm sure there's quite a list, but that's the fun of it. So we try to keep a lot of variety. So if you ask one that was played within the last couple months, even several months, then we'd probably refer you to that episode. So we want to try to keep it fresh for everybody. But thank you guys for joining us. I'm Natalie, and then my husband Josh sits behind the camera. You don't see him, but you hear him, and he'll be helping me manage all the requests. I don't get to see your comments during the live. I go back and look at them later. So he's back there handling all of that.
All right, so I have some technical difficulties. So for the rest of this session, the titles won't be on the screen.
Okay.
And I don't know why, but for some reason I lost my text box where I actually enter them in.
Okay, we'll just say them loudly.
Went away, and so, yeah. Anyway, that's okay. We've done it this way many times before, and I don't think it'll cause a problem. All right, I have a couple written down that, you know, are unusual. The first one, I don't know if you know it. Again, I think you know it, but anyway, Hallelujah Square.
Hallelujah Square. I don't know that song.
Okay.
Sounds like a good one, but
I Can't Even Walk.
Without
you holding
I
my
know
hand.
it. Let me see. I'll do the chorus. The condensed version.
Oh, I Want to See Him.
Of discrepancy in oral, not discrepancy, more like difference in interpretation on that song. Some churches, that's a Redback song, but some churches sing it more like that, but that's not the way it's actually written in the hymnal. So the first version that I played it is how it's written in the book. And then when I was much older, I realized people actually didn't swing it. They made it really strict, which is not what it says to do in the book. But a lot of those songs are open to cultural interpretation. So they're fun. It gets really fun when you're playing for churches that sing it different ways.
All right. Do you have the Broadman hymn?
I do. I have that one right here.
I don't know if you'll need it for this, but Save to the Uttermost is page 51.
Well, I'm going to make sure it's the same Save to the Uttermost I know because I didn't know it was in a hymnal. So we'll see. This is not the same Save to the Uttermost I Know, so I'm glad that I have the page number. Let's see. I don't know this song, so we'll see how it goes. That was fun. I enjoyed learning that one.
All right, how about go ahead and play the one you know?
Okay.
Number 475.
In the Broadman?
Yes.
Okay. There's always like a little bit of nervousness as I turn to these when I just have a page number and I think, please know this song. Okay. Oh, gracious. I think you guys do
What's
this
it
on
called?
purpose. This is called Onward Christian Soldiers, but it's not Onward Christian Soldiers like I was expecting. This could go very badly. So let's see.
Did you have a nice vacation?
I did have a nice vacation. So we do that every year, and we have every year since I was 14. So we've been doing it many years. I think my grandmother said this was the 17th time, which I did not realize that. That's pretty cool. But we rent a huge house, and everybody stays together. And each year the dynamic is a little different. This year there were lots more littles. And it's just growing, and that's fun. And so we have a wonderful time all together. So it's a sweet week. I'm very thankful for that. So that's my grandparents on my dad's side all the way down. So my dad and his sister, and then all the little branches below that. So it's fun. Okay, let's see how this goes. This has a lot of little tiny notes. So. There's another part of it, but I see a fine symbol there, so I'm going to stop right there. I don't really know what goes on that next section. There's lots of little repeat parts and tiny notes that a pianist is supposed to play, but whew, that's a big one.
Do you know Paradise Valley?
I don't know Paradise Valley.
Well, can't say I didn't try.
There you go.
Room at the Cross. I'm Standing on the Solid Rock.
Yes. Our choir just learned this song, so it's fresh on my mind.
Number 36.
Okay. I guess we're inadvertently featuring the Broadman hymnal tonight. So I think we've done that on an episode before, but I can't remember.
Yes, it's a B, and
It's a B,
we
so
made
we
it
started-
past the B's.
We started with really great intentions of featuring every hymnal in alphabetical order,
I
but
think we got interrupted by the holidays,
that sounds right.
and then we never got back to it.
Okay, so we'll get back to that and start back at All American Hymnal and just move on down through. So,
All right, what are we hearing?
This is the 90 and 9, which I played this a few weeks ago and I explained more of the story behind it. It's a story song, so you have to read all 5 verses to really understand what it's talking about. Essentially, it's telling the story of when Jesus went out for that one lost sheep. And I think it's neat because while I was playing Room at the Cross, I was thinking about that thought of though millions have come, there's still room for one. And if you are that one who is still in search of a Savior and you're still having that void in your heart that only Jesus can fill, there is room at the cross for you. And the cross is where you'll find the answer to your problem. That's where Jesus already took your sin debt. He's already paid for it. All you have to do is receive what He's already done. That's amazing. And then the 90 and 9 just talks about the miracle of there being one sheep that Jesus went out there to search for. And He does that to everybody. The gospel is very inclusive. It is not a gospel. It's not true that some are saved, some are just forever lost and will never even have the chance. Like they're already, no, the gospel is for whosoever will. Whosoever will may come. Jesus made that really clear. So the 90 and 9 talks about Him going in search for that one. Even though there were already 99 in the fold, He wanted that one. So that's what the song's about. Good song.
All Your Anxiety.
Yes, I know that song, but I'm going to look at the hymnal just because I don't want to mess up the melody. If I know the beginning of it, but I don't know that the rest of it would come to me. So we shall see. All Your Anxiety. Let's see. I want to play that one. There it is, 503. So this hymnal that I'm playing All Your Anxiety from is called Psalms, Hymns, and Spiritual Songs. And it is from Melody Publications. So I try to tell you what the hymnals are called, and honestly, a Google search is the best way to find a copy that's available, because you'll probably find some of these from like used bookstores or used online retailers type thing, but Melody Publications does produce this hymnal, and it's a good one. So. The chorus, if that's a song that's unfamiliar to you, the chorus says, all your anxiety, all your care, bring to the mercy seat. Leave it there. Never a burden he cannot bear, never a friend like Jesus. And that comes from, there's a verse in Hebrews that talks about we can boldly approach the throne of grace and find that mercy and grace to help in time of need. Like, we don't have to be timid about approaching our Father and asking for help. And he says, cast all your care upon me. He said, casting all your care upon him, for he careth for you. That's amazing that he actually does care about those little things. So don't try to carry him yourself. Let him on Jesus' shoulders. He's big enough to handle it.
We Have an Anchor.
Oh, we sang that tonight. Okay, so I should do this one without the hymnal.
Okay. Do you play by ear?
I do. So I think that's a good way to learn, is to be able to read sheet music, but then also ear training as well. So I got a lot of my ear training from my church background, and then I was classically trained with the, sheet music and all the theory stuff and the classical music on the other side. So I think I got the best of both worlds.
Are you still planning to make a CD?
Yes, we're recording not this week, but next week. So getting a lot of fun work done on my piano this week. So we'll try to video some of that and keep you updated in what's happening, but I'm really excited about it.
All right, Come and Dine. we'll play a couple out of the Broadman
Okay.
again. 348.
348. Where Will Never Grow Old. I do know this song. That's always such a relief.
Okay. Someone says they need a CD. They need 3.
3.
Yes. 1 to clean house, 1 to relax to, and 1 for Sunday porch sitting.
Sunday porch sitting. Okay. I feel that. This one's probably going to be more of that style, Sunday porch sitting. So, like a lot of variety, but not that you have to be sitting there listening to every note or you'll be lost and confused as to what's going on. So, I've heard so many comments over the past year and a half of people saying that the music has been a comfort and an encouragement during hard times. And I think that kind of guided my song selection, is because I was thinking, like, what are the hymns that really minister to our hearts during hard times? And that's kind of where it has sort of turned into. So when I'm practicing, I'm thinking, what would I want it to sound like if I'm needing encouraged and just uplifted, but not distracted, if you know what I mean. So I'm not sure that made sense.
466.
466. Okay. Whispering Hope. Oh, yeah, okay. This was a new one for me. I think it was probably one of the most requested within the first few weeks of us doing these live events. And I thought, Whispering Hope, I've never heard of that song. It's actually an old Redback Church hymnal song, too, so I've since learned it a little bit better.
right. This might be interesting. Jesu, joy of man's desiring.
We'll see. That was more like a variation of Jesu, joy of man's desiring.
All right, next up is surely goodness and mercy. How many pianos do you have access to, and what is your favorite of them?
Have access to.
I guess that you've played.
Okay, so this one is my home piano. Wow, that was the most obvious statement I've ever said. Sorry. This is a Kauai CA40A. And let's see, I also have a really cheap 88-key electric keyboard that I use to transcribe sheet music. So I have that one, but it's nothing to write home about. And then I have access to, wow, that's really broad. The one that I took lessons on as a little kid is a upright Kohler and Campbell, which you can see on some of my old YouTube videos, because that's the piano that I got to keep when my parents moved to North Carolina like 4 years ago. So that was my piano for a while. And it is now at my brother's house. So there's that one. And then my parents, when I was in 5th grade, surprised all of us kids when we got home from school one day and had bought a Yamaha C3, which is a grand. It looks a lot like this one. It's a couple inches shorter, but it's essentially it'd be the same style of piano. So that's the piano I practiced on the most from 5th grade on. And that's still at my parents' house in North Carolina. They're about 35 minutes from us. So I technically still have access to that one too. So it's very special to me. That one there's a lot of sentimental value attached to it. But then now there is to this one as well. So, and my grandparents who live next door have a upright Baldwin, which it's got a sweet sound. So yeah. And then my church piano is a Yamaha GH1. Does that summarize?
What about Progress?
Okay, Progress had a Yamaha. No, I'm sorry, a Kauai. They had a Kauai. I think it was in the GH series. And then after I married Josh, a couple months later, my dad called me and asked if I would go try out a Baldwin that the church was considering getting. And I said, you waited till after I married Josh and moved away to buy this beautiful Baldwin grand piano. So Josh and I got to go up there, and my dad was out of town. So he said, I need you to go try out this piano for me. So we drove up there, and a beautiful, it's a L series Baldwin. So really beautiful, grand. So yeah, there's that one.
Okay. Are there any others that you've played that stand out?
I played a really here we go. That's a really big can of worms to ask a pianist. Actually, last week, Josh, we toured the Steinway and dealer here in Greenville, and I had a few favorites there. That was some gorgeous instruments. But then I played a really fantastic Bosendorfer when I was in high school at Presbyterian College, and that one stands out as a really fantastic playing experience.
All right. Well, okay. Next up is The Sweetest Song I Know.
Oh yeah, I know that song.
Life's Railway to Heaven. Life is like a mountain railway.
Oh, okay.
All right, we'll stay in that vein and do Where the Soul Never Dies.
Okay. So we go from Jesu joy of man's desiring to Where the soul never dies and life is like a mountain railroad. Wow, okay.
Some Golden Daybreak.
Some golden daybreak Jesus will come, right?
Yes. You might need to
I'm gonna
remember
need the
it's
book.
slower than you think.
It's lower than I think?
Slower.
Slower. Oh, that's right. We sang that in church. It's not in this book. Okay, let's see. Josh had us sing it congregationally, and I did not know that song. And I was playing it for the first time in front of everybody while we were singing it, and 901. And afterwards he said, you had never heard that, had you? And I said, no, I did not know that song. He said, it's a lot slower. So I kind of had us flying through it. So we'll try to keep it a little bit slower. So.
Consider the lilies. What key did you play We Have an Anchor in?
F. That's what key it is in the hymnal. So.
All right. Next up is Calvary Covers It All.
We just did a medley on songs about the Calvary, I think, is the one that's posted on YouTube. We have an upcoming one.
Cross.
The cross, I have it reversed.
Yep.
Whoops. Okay, spoiler alert. We have a medley about songs about Calvary coming out this week. So I did a medley on songs about the cross. So we're leading up to Easter. So if you've requested Easter hymns, just hang on. They're coming. But we're doing a few medleys of just like quiet hymns that really emphasize the melody that you can just kind of put on in the background, and I think they're about 15 minutes long each or something like that, but just songs about the cross, just getting our hearts and minds prepared for Resurrection Sunday, but that should be a mindset all year long of just thankful for the cross and then thankful for the resurrection as well. So, and if you're a church pianist, I've gotten, let's see, 3, this one's fresh on my mind because it's sitting here, but I've got 3 new Easter arrangements on the website that you can use for your congregational accompaniment. So let's see, you're gonna see Christ Arose. It's already on the website, but we'll be making the video for it this week. So Low in the Grave He Lay, that one. And then let's see what else is on there. He Lives and Christ the Lord is Risen Today. So if you're needing some fresh ideas for your congregational accompaniment, and sometimes those Easter songs or Resurrection Sunday songs, we don't play them but a couple Sundays out of the year, so it can be a little bit daunting to try to think creatively about how to fill them in. So I've written them out like I would play them, and so you can watch the videos before you get the arrangement so you know what it's going to sound like. But there's several new arrangements on the website for you church pianists.
All right, so I'm going to wrap it up with 2 songs.
Okay.
But I wanted to give you an opportunity to say or play anything first.
The only thing that popped into my mind was when I sight read, I will inevitably get messages or comments that say, how do you know what to do if you're just sight reading it and you don't know the song? So it sounds easy, but there's actually like pattern-based hymn playing, some of that stuff is like I'm reading all 4 notes at once, but then I'm doubling the melody in my right hand and I'm putting the bass in my left hand, and I'm kind of like looking at what happens between the melody notes and what happens between the chords. So if you're wanting to learn more about that, I have a course called Foundations in Hymn Playing, and all you need is a hymnal for the course. You don't have to be a note reader really, but I explain what's going on in the hymnal and then how to make your hymn playing sound bigger than just what's there, or give you a lot of fill-in ideas. So that's the first course we ever produced, but it's a good one if you're needing just like basic principles for hymn playing. So if you're a new church pianist and you already know a little bit and you want to know more, so check that out. But there, that's my commercial.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching and commenting tonight. We're sorry for those requests we didn't get to, but I'm sure everyone understands. I think I'm at 1,200 and something comments on this live session right now. So don't feel like you're being ignored if your request didn't get played. But we got to a lot tonight.
Yes.
That was.
I tried to play a little
I think
faster.
we almost did double as many as
Yay!
we
That's
did
good.
last
That's
week.
good.
So that's good. All right, I have 2, and you can play them in whatever order you feel like.
Okay.
That it is Come Unto Me and I Feel Like Traveling On.
Okay, we'll do them in that order. That sounds like a good list. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining us. So you make it very fun and very worth it when we know that people are enjoying it and watching it. So here's Come Unto Me, and then I Feel Like Traveling On.